The World Football League's Southern California Sun made a haul in the 1974 professional draft by selecting 9 players who would become Hall of Famers. Among them was O.J. Simpson, who was coming off his record-breaking 2003 rushing yard season. OJ had to be the first-round draft choice by the Sun, right? Nope. OJ was a 39th round draft pick. Strangely, Giants running back Charlie Evans was the first professional player taken off the board, even though he only had 77 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown in 1973. The Washington Ambassadors didn't get much production out of him in 1974. 79 rushing yards, 44 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. Larry Zonka was the second overall player selected. The Toronto Northmen tabbed him, but he actually played for the Memphis Southmen when they moved prior to the start of the 1974 season. Okay, let me address the elephant in the room. It was expected that most of the NFL players drafted would have no intention of signing with the WFL. However, the WFL still wanted the prominent NFL players' future rights assigned to a specific team in order to prevent WFL teams from ending up in bidding wars for those players once they became available. Yeah, get it. None of the players actually played for the Southern California Sun, but this video is meant to be fun and informative. After all, how many fans know that there was an actual WFL draft of NFL players? So let's have some fun and get after it. Tight end Charlie Sanders was drafted in the 31st round by the Sun, and he had made 4 Pro Bowl and 3 All-Pro teams by then. And he'd make 3 more Pro Bowl teams before retiring after the 1977 season. The Sun drafted to form their own version of the Steel Curtain by drafting their anchor, defensive tackle Joe Green from the North Texas Mean Green football program. The name Mean Green was adopted by fans and media in 1966 for their defensive squad that finished second in the nation against the rush. Joe Green was drafted in the 10th round after making 1973 first-team All-Pro. He was one of the all-time great defensive tackles. At the other defensive tackle, the Sun drafted the Chiefs anchor, Curly Culp, in the 33rd round. Culp was an adept run stuffer and was the 1967 NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion. He wasn't a one-trick pony though, as he was also an excellent pass rusher. Defensive end Elvin Bethea made 4 Pro Bowl teams by the end of the 1973 season, and he'd make 4 more by the time he retired after the 1983 season. He had a career-high 16 sacks in 1973. Carl Eller was the oldest of the selected future Hall of Famers at age 31. He was coming off a first-team All-Pro season in 1973 when he had 11 sacks. 1973 was the last of his 6 All-Pro seasons, however, even though he still had a lot left in the tank. Ted Hendricks was nicknamed the Mad Stork at the University of Miami, Florida. Drafted by the Colts in 1969 second round, the Sun drafted him in the WFL's 1974 third round. Ted would go on to play 10 more years, and amazingly, he made the Pro Bowl in each of his last 4 seasons at ages 33 through 36. Ron Erie was in the prime of his career when he was drafted by the Southern California Sun. He was terrific at both run blocking and pass protection. Guard Tom Mack was the second overall draft pick in the 1966 NFL Draft and the first round pick of the Southern California Sun. Mack had made 7 consecutive Pro Bowls by the end of the 1973 season and would add 4 more before he was finished. Joe Namath was paid a bunch of cash to quarterback the Jets and get the AFL off the ground. His rocket arm produced a new single-season passing yardage record, his presence packed stadiums across the league, and he led the Jets to a stunning Super Bowl upset win over the Colts. Injuries took big bites out of subsequent seasons, but when even he was somewhat healthy, there were few quarterbacks who were better. Joe Namath was wavering about re-signing with the Jets after the 1974 season. The Chicago Winds attempted to sign him prior to the 1975 season opener, and Namath's agent asked for a $500,000 signing bonus, a 3-year contract for $600,000 a year, a $2 million annuity, and terms for Namath's eventual ownership of a World Football League franchise in New York. The Winds even dropped red from their team colors and went with green and white to allow Namath to continue marketing his number 12 jersey in Jets colors. Chicago accepted the asking price until Namath asked for 15% of the World Football League's total television package revenue. Joe stayed with the Jets.